What's up, guys? Roberto from Media.
What's up, guys? Tommy Kentner from TK Auto Works.
And today we're talking about a topic that we've kind of thought about this, but we wouldn't really know how to word it. And then we have a friend that recently spent a lot of money into an old Subaru.
Well, yeah, it's more like I don't think they're making anything that's new, that's reliable, like really looks cool, and performs well.
Yeah.
So it's like
you can have one of the three, not all three.
Yeah. So I think it's why we've been like super swamped, and everything is so expensive new wise, and I would think you can buy like an older, anything, Subaru, Nissan, any of the older stuff, and you can retrofit them with all the new technology.
And it really just changes the car.
And it just makes them so reliable that I think a lot of people are getting away from buying new cars. And we just wanted to kind of put that out there and see what y'all's take was on it too. Just because of all the new tech that you can put in these new cars can make them, I would say, more like a retro mod. But instead of being a muscle car, it's a Japanese car, or even those too, because like they're putting the new engines and transmissions in the older stuff, like the Camaros and all that. They're putting LT motors in them, and then the C10s.
And then they run and they start up every time. That was like its issue.
yeah. And I've always had a concept, like why don't like GM pretty much just bring out any of the classics with the new technology.
Yeah.
Like
it would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Like, if there's anybody listening, like one of these bigger companies, like literally just bring a car from the 90s with the new tech.
Yeah.
And like you would not be able to make up enough like to like how much that would sell.
Because it's like, just imagine if you can buy like a 69 Camaro, but it has the Z06 package in it, and it has like, maybe a new dash cluster.
And like good suspension and good brakes and all kind of stuff. Like,
just all the new tech.
And I bet you could charge a ton of money and people would still buy it. Because they want those classic body lines. They want that feel of a car that either they drove in high school or they like dream of having in high school, but they want to have like the new creature comforts.
Well, and the style, like today's cars, like I think if you debadged them,
they're basically kind of like the same thing. It's just like a blob on four wheels.
Right. But it's like, back in the day, you could tell a GM
immediately. Yeah, you immediately could tell like what was what, and that uniqueness and that brand recognition is definitely gone. Another big point me and Tommy were talking about is like, like all these new cars, they sound great from all the tech they have, but realistically, there's nothing that you actually need that hasn't been around for like
ages,
20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I just like going and seeing like all the different cars at Duncan, and there's like 79s with digital dashes.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the features are insane. Like it still had fully motorized, seats. So that was already electric back in the 70s. And it's like the only innovation that I've really seen is like adaptive cruise control.
Yeah, and that is nice. I'm not gonna say it's not, especially for a daily.
Oh, and lane keep too.
Yeah, but
it's like,
do you have to have that? Not
no.
really,
Well, you should be paying attention.
Right, that's what you should be doing, and like that's the issue.
And off your phones.
Right. But things like backup cameras, sensors for making sure the car doesn't overheat, like good stereo. I mean, even like something like Bluetooth from your phone to a stereo, like that's been around for quite a bit now.
Yeah. So,
and like if you got an old car, and I've actually seen some Porsche guys do this, where like they'll get like an old-looking radio that has Bluetooth because they want to keep the feel of it, and then they just mount the phone, as we all end up doing anyway. So
Yeah, that's even like the one, my radio in the Skyline. It's actually a new stereo, but it's looks like an old school flip out.
I think there's like a want for like a tactile button, a dial, like I don't want everything to be just a big old screen. Like,
no, yeah,
it's the idea of it sounds cool, but the reality of it, like, it doesn't work. Right. Not for a car, anyways. You know.
Yeah, I definitely like the tactile with the volume and stuff.
Somebody calls you, you know,
right.
Like there's something nice about that, you know.
Yeah, because well, this car has just the screen in it, and it's hard to hit like just the up and down. Well, and especially while you're driving, like, so I do see a need in that. But guys, we was just thinking, like, you know, what y'all's thought on this, and if they're, I mean, I know there's a few like good new cars out, but it's just like it's not as cool as it was, and everything's like super expensive now.
It's very expensive.
So it's like, you know, do you pick up, you know, like something like a old Forester, like swap, you know, all the STI stuff in it, put it on the new computer, you know, and just make it a really good car that's going to last you. Maintenance is going to be cheap, and it's easy to fix. Like, there's nothing too technical on it, where like the newer stuff is, you know, you need pretty much a $10,000 computer to work on it.
Yeah, it's kind of getting rough. And for example, like the new cars that have come out that like kind of like called my name a little bit. It's like the new Corvette, like the
C8.
Yeah, but they got one that is like turbo, and then they just came out one that is turbo and all-wheel drive.
Yeah,
and all that sounds amazing, but I can't, like, they're not gonna sell that car for less than like $200,000. Like, and I just don't love cars that much to kind of spend that kind of money on them. And I love cars, don't get me wrong, but like that's just like a lot of money.
So pretty much our qualm is like, do you buy an older car and put 20 grand in it, and it be like, you know, perfect to like what you want, versus buying like a $60,000 new car and it has to go back for problems out of the box. I've seen a couple videos. There was this one Escalade, brand new, and this lady had saved a lot of money to kind of get it, and like it was her dream car and this and that. And like in their first rain, all the water came through one of the lights. It's like like these cars, they're just not even paying attention to when they're built. Yeah. So the whole idea of getting a new car, it was like that you get it and then you don't have to worry about maintenance or anything else for years. Right. That's out of the question anymore. Like that's not a thing anymore. So. Well, yeah, and I mean, like I said, a lot of my cars are older, and like this car's been running fine, just maintenance in it for like the last 5 or 6 years. Yeah. And so I think like that's our kind of qualm is like, yes, it's older tech, but is it the older stuff getting more reliable than the newer cars coming out? Because I think once you modernize it, they're having a lot of stuff fail. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like stuff still fails on these, but once you take all those failure points out of the equation, like it's pretty are you bulletproof. Left with a better package. I think so. So, and it can be exactly what you want with all the new technology. And not that this matters, but it's unique. It's your own car. You customize it to how you want it. So every time you kind of get into it, like you're gonna feel good about driving that car. Versus like if you see, I don't know, a Hyundai N or whatever. Right. It's just like one of like 20 more that you'll probably see on your way to home. You know. Yeah. So guys, we want to know your thoughts on this too. Just because, like I said, we was talking about it, felt like we would bring you guys in on the conversation, and I think it's like I said, I think it's just going to get more predominant as they're not making like stuff that the consumers want. Yeah. Like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Toyota's still doing like a lot of things right, but even there, it's like the Tundras have engines that fail, the Tacomas are having transmissions that fail, and that's probably one of the best manufacturers. Yeah. It's just kind of sad to see how all they're really prioritizing is making an extra dollar, and I get it. Like, you know, a quarter
when you're doing a million, it adds up, but you're dragging your name down the drain, and people are not going to be as loyal to you anymore.
Yeah, especially when, they invest in not having issues. And
Right.
And I even, like, one of our customers has a 2023 GM, and apparently she can't even trade the truck in.
Wow.
And that kind of blew my mind when she told me that, and I was like, that is
so even the dealerships know that they're such bad cars, but they have no problem selling it to you.
Yeah, and it's like, she said the fix was like if you can even get on, like, they're so far out, it's like she can't even get it in to look at, but it's like they stick a camera in there, and if, like, the cam is scored or something like that, then they give you a new engines, but there's not enough engines to go around. And
that's crazy.
Their other qualm is just to put thicker oil in it. So it's like, she bought this truck thinking, like, this is going to be my reliable vehicle, while her other car she, has fun with.
And another thing is, like, I've actually seen that from a couple manufacturers, like, to run the thicker oil.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you even recommending the thinner oil to begin with? Because you get more gas mileage.
Yes.
So, like, wouldn't you rather have, like, 2 less miles per gallon, but have a car that runs for 80,000 mile problem for, you know what I mean?
But that's not on them.
Yeah.
That's on
the customer.
No. They have to meet standards, or they get charged more money because the government is wanting a certain, it's like a
rating for miles per gallon.
Yeah, and so for every mile over that rating, they have to pay a tax on.
So dumb.
Yeah, because that's what I was telling her. I don't think they should put regulations on what downs the engine. Like, so if the one engine can go, I don't know, 300,000 miles without no problems, if you don't put all this crap on there, like, that's saving, like, the owner money, and you're using less materials. Now, where they have all these regulations, they can't even meet the demand of the one engine per car they're putting in.
And let's say that you actually really did care about the environment. What's better, a little more O2 in the atmosphere, or having to get a whole new engine, possibly even a new car, like every couple of years because yours broke down? And
you're using those resources.
Yeah. If anything, we're environmentalists. We're keeping junk junk cars out of the trash,
Well, and using up materials.
Right.
I mean, like I said, when you have a whole fleet of 1 million cars that all have to have new engines, you're not saving anything.
No.
So, and I think we're seeing it more and more. The newer vehicles are not going as many miles as the older cars.
Yep.
Because they had less stuff on them.
I know it's a really big thing with diesels in particular, and like there's a lot of more regulations with diesels.
Even the diesels are not getting the
right.
miles.
And like diesels used to last 1 million miles, pretty much. Like that was actually sort of common.
Yes. Yeah.
But where they have all these block off plates and all these weird things, like they can't run those anymore, and now that's a whole different conversation. But
our main focus is, like, if you're buying right now, are you buying something that's older to retrofit it and make it like a retro car, or are you buying something new and dealing with the headaches?
And if you are buying something new, let us know what you're buying. Maybe we're just not keeping an eye of it, because we kind of tend to like more JDM cars, but maybe there's something Euro or something like that we're just not aware of.
Right.
But as far as I know, this is just a problem all across the board, and it's sad, really.
Yeah. Because I feel like all the technology is there to make a really cool car, and they're really pushing electric, which I don't think any of us are even interested in purchasing.
No.
So, and I think that's their problem, is like they think they can just, this is your only option. Well, people are just going to keep older cars on the road.
Yeah.
So
until they make those illegal, we'll be out there.
And then I'll be getting a damn horse.
All right.
No.
90s cars will run forever.
Yeah.
There will be a 90s Honda Civic in like 2090.
Yeah. 3090.
Right.
Got my 1995 Honda Civic.
Yes. But anyways, guys, I feel like that was a good topic, and I think this is actually something that we can get in the comments and communicate a little bit. Like, tell us what you think. Like,
Yeah.
And if you are, another thing, if you are doing that, fixing an old car, what are you doing, and what are you doing to it?
Yep.
Because we're pretty interested on that too.
Yeah, so drop a comment below. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. And I think, like I said, we're going to have more of these conversations and try to, get everybody's thoughts and all that stuff. So, guys, we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.
Peace.